Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of BiblioTech on Air, BiblioTech's official podcast. I'm Lewis.
I'm Ruby.
I'm Miranda.
And today we're going to be talking about the movie Project Hail Mary that's directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, written by Drew Goddard and starring Ryan Gosling, based on the book Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which we have available as an ebook on cloudLibrary with your BiblioTech library card. So just kind of kicking things off generally, what did y'all think of the film? Like, did y'all have any expectations going into it? Had you read the book before?
I had no expectations of it. Now after having watched it, I wish with all my heart and soul I read the book before.
Yeah.
Because with sci-fi movies, like in my head, I get stuck on things. So I like if I feel like things are happening a little too fast, or if I'm like, wait a minute, why aren't they thinking about this or this or this or this? Like I'll get stuck on it. And like in the book, I heard like it describes everything so perfectly. But I still really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, nice. Miranda?
I didn't go into it with too many expectations. I've never read the book before seeing the movie, and I also kind of wish I did. I just knew that, like, timing-wise, I was like, I don't think I'll be able to get through the book and take my time with it. So eventually, maybe I will. But I really enjoyed the movie. I don't watch a lot of sci-fi or anything kind of in this realm of like space. So I was pretty open to it because I don't really have anything to compare it to. But I really enjoyed it. I thought visually it was really like beautiful to watch, and the humor in it I really enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of in the same boat where like I don't typically go for like space movies, stuff like that. And I didn't even know it was based off of a book until after I had already seen the movie for this podcast. So honestly, I didn't have a lot of expectations. I think I'd like caught the trailer at some point when I went to go see Iron Lung, actually. But yeah, I ended up really liking it, honestly. And getting into it a little bit more, you were talking about the visuals of the movie, and I think it's super striking, especially going to see it in the theaters. Like Lord and Miller really know how to like make every single frame very like beautiful, like eye candy, honestly. Were there any like particular visuals that y'all were like that stuck with y'all?
Oh, dude, I saw it at the IMAX, so it was a fun time. Honestly, there's like a good amount that I can just go into, but I feel like the main two that really stood out to me was the room that he like the movie room and on the spaceship or whatever that he was able to watch back like scenes from Earth and things like that. That I thought was really amazing. That and the going into Rocky's spaceship as well. Yes, because I heard that that's something that doesn't happen in the book. So that's something that they did in the movie. Because the whole time I was thinking, I was like, wait, why are they just in his ship? Like, why are y'all not like taking advantage of Rocky's ship? Like, I'm sure he has good like technology in his ship as well that they can use, whatever. So I'm really glad that they added that in there. Because if they didn't, I would have gone crazy.
No, I totally agree. Miranda?
Yeah, I think visually that room was really cool. And then some of my favorites were like Rocky in his like bubble that he created for himself. He can, like, go. I don't know why. I really liked that. And at the end, I was so happy that they created it and it fit his form. So it wasn't just like open space now or like a hamster wheel he was like walking in. It was like a little close suit. I don't know. I don't know why. I really liked how that looked. And then also at the end is when we got to see the environment that they created for Ryan Gosling to live in. I thought that was amazing. I was like, that's so cool, especially once you start like looking and they zoom out and you're able to see it's just like a dome.
Yeah, because like you think he's on Earth. And then as it just gets bigger. And like, I was wondering too, like, what if Rocky came to Earth? We would have never built something like that for Rocky. So the fact that the Iridians did that for Ryan Gosling, that's just amazing.
That was probably my favorites, is that like two things.
Yeah, honestly, like, we can get into like the topic of just like the difference between like kind of like our fears of like alien life and like how kind the Iridians ended up being and like whether or not we would extend that same, pun intended, grace towards Rocky should he have like made it back to Earth. But just on the topic of visuals, I completely agree that him going onto Rocky's ship was a great addition. I loved like the way that there's kind of like that rainbow kind of like light leaking in and just the
his
structure.
Suit looked so cool too.
Yes. Like the structure of that the structure of that ship also, like whenever they first encounter each other and like them trying to establish like regular gravity by like rotating at the same time and just seeing these like massive structures just like spinning in space was like absolutely gorgeous. And I honestly, even on like a really mundane level, like the scenes on Earth still have like a really good sense of like color, and like it never was visually boring to be like, oh, this is like how beautiful space is. And then, you know, like he's on Earth, he's remembering things. Like they very specifically, I didn't notice this when I was watching it, but whenever I was watching like a few analysis videos and stuff like that, whenever they have the memories going, they kind of like limit the aspect ratio. So they kind of like close in a little bit, but they still have the light from the scene leaking out into like the black bars. So it feels like really hazy, like a memory does.
Yeah.
So like as he's like going along and like remembering how he got into the situation, you kind of just see like the edges of like his visual imagination. I absolutely love that they did that. But going into kind of like more of like themes and stuff like that, what did y'all think about kind of like the more hopeful twist on like alien encounters and like, you know, trying to prevent the end of the world? Like, what did y'all think of that?
I felt like in the beginning, I felt like things were happening really fast. Like I didn't feel the dire situation that this is Earth's last chance and Earth is dying. Like I felt like, okay, this is what America's doing. What is the rest of the world doing? Like how are we going to all work together to solve a situation like this? But obviously in the book, it does go into more detail. It's more dire. They even nuke Antarctica. Things like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, I wish I had that going in.
That feels uncalled for.
It was to get started global warming and heat up the Earth a little bit longer to last them. Whatever.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's something I was stuck on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like that it was hopeful, because throughout I was like, especially when we got to Rocky's scene and Rocky was trying to save him, so he like gave up his life basically to save Ryan Gosling. That I was like, oh, okay, like it's just gonna end up like everyone's dead, and like it's just gonna be a closing shot of the Earth destroyed or something.
Yeah.
So I like that it was hopeful, because I feel like we don't get that a lot with movies like this, and it's not like they did it in a like happy-go-lucky. They were able to just like use this random like metal rope that Rocky created, grab it so easily, get in the they show that there was hardship, especially when he first woke up. Like he was freaked out. He didn't even want to be there. They literally were like, okay, go die for us. And you're going to wake up to your co-people dead. And then you're not going to, like... So they did show that, like, the way he was trying to fight for everything. But at the end, I'm so glad it ended up, at least he's alive. And everything got back where it was supposed to, so that the Earth can still, like, figure out what they need to do.
Yeah.
And he gets to live, and Rocky gets to live.
Yes.
I was like, thank God.
Rocky, we needed that guy.
And when we finished it, my mom, she was like... Thank God that it was hopeful and everyone lived, or else I would be very upset right now.
Real.
Yeah, for that long of a runtime, I'm glad that things kind of worked out, because honestly, it like you really, really get attached to these two characters and you want to see them pull through, and you kind of want to see like how their friendship like gets them both through. And I am going to shout out a video that I was watching earlier, kind of in preparation for this. Again, I think that like I really like the parallels between this and Iron Lung, which is a movie that I really enjoyed. And this person has Fashionable Crow on YouTube has an analysis video called "Hail Mary and Iron Lung: How We Face the End." It's such a good video, but kind of in the realm of how they explain kind of the themes of Project Hail Mary. I think that it's really nice that like it's not like here is this like alien civilization that he's like making contact with, and they're so much smarter than us, or oh my God, they're a threat.
Yeah.
Like they seem like kind of on par with each other in terms of like how like technologically advanced certain parts of their society are, and they do have to like sit with one another and find a way to communicate. And I really, really like the amount of time that's like put into them establishing a form of communication, as silly as it kind of turns out being sometimes, you know. Like I really, really like that kind of like more hopeful outlook on their planet is dying too. And this is something that is affecting absolutely everybody. And instead of, you know, being like, oh, this alien can just like fix everything, or like, oh, this alien is like trying to like invade Earth or whatever. Like it's really nice that it's just like they're both really lonely. They're both kind of being sent on like a one-way trip. They have no one else. and they're just kind of making like a desperate last grasp to like save their worlds, and they find each other.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was something that was stuck in my head when I was watching the movie. When I first saw Rocky, I was like, how do we know aliens even have empathy for like us to want to reach out the way that Rocky was reaching out to him? But then I saw someone mention something that in the book, apparently Rocky's been alone for 46 years. Like he's just been stuck there by himself with everyone dead for 46 years. So that's why when Ryan Gosling comes on in his ship, it was like really, really fast that communication started. Or that interaction started between them.
Yeah, because they're each other's only hope at that point, you know?
And I like how you brought up the communication aspect, because obviously they had to take time to use the computer. But I was so excited at the end when I realized they were talking to each other without the computer. And he was just responding to him. And I was like, it took me kind of a second to realize. I was like, wait, but like nothing's reading out what he's saying to him. Like he had actually picked up and like they were able to communicate just on their own. And I was like, he must have been there for a while. Like, they must have been working. Like that kind of gave me a time perspective on how long each of these bits are taking place. Because although it was like so fast paced, once he's there, I'm like, he must have been there for a while to have his routine, have his class, and speak Rocky in all their language. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that ending meant a lot to me, honestly. Like I can take or leave how many kind of like false endings there are in this movie. But like I really, really love that they are communicating, and it's not like, oh, he's like starting to do like he's starting to speak Rocky's language or Rocky's like speaking English. They can just communicate in two completely different languages, like back and forth, because they have bonded and they have like found that kind of harmony between like how they communicate. And I absolutely really love that part of Rocky and Dr. Grace's relationship. And I kind of mentioned this a second ago, but like there are like, in my opinion, the way that I was seeing it, and I've seen other people say this too, it felt like the movie was like ending for 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Did y'all feel that way? Did y'all feel like it was kind of like any time wasted, or did y'all kind of like how it went?
I never felt like time was being wasted, because I felt like also that was their reality. So like, even though for us, we obviously know, okay, we're going into a almost 3-hour movie, and if you look at your watch, you know how much time is, but for them as like people going through it, they didn't know that. So like those false endings were real to them. Like Rocky dying, that was real. Him like him waking up and then them separating, like that was going to be their end. It's not like he knew that their ship was going to have to like go save him, you know? So all of those things were just happening in real time for them. So I think that is what made me kind of just keep pace with them and not think about it as like, oh, well, shouldn't it end now? Oh, is it going to end now? Like, I wasn't really thinking of it like that. I was like, he didn't expect to have to go and save Rocky. He didn't expect to end up on Earth. He didn't expect to do all of those things. So I enjoyed it.
I felt like time did not exist when I was watching this movie. Surprisingly, like when it ended, I was like, oh, that's it? I thought it was going to continue going on for like much more. But yeah, like literally time did not exist. I was like, just watching the characters, seeing how things like, I was like, how is it going to unfold? What's going to happen? Is he truly dead? But yeah, I thought the timing was perfect for the movie.
Very nice. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't mind the runtime when I was watching it through the first time round. I think if I did a repeat view, there might be some things where I'm like, okay, I might skip past it, you know, but especially being in the theater and with how gorgeous the movie is visually, I was kind of in the same boat where I'm like, it doesn't feel like time is progressing. It doesn't feel like I've been here for a long time. It just feels like I'm just kind of experiencing this. I think in hindsight, it hit me because as soon as I left the theater, I was like, oh, it is so dark outside. But, you know, I think that, you know, even though I kind of thought the movie was ending at like 3 different points. I am with you on that, Miranda, where it's just kind of like, yeah, this is just how they are experiencing that. And honestly, I really like how it kind of got subverted at the end a bit, where it's like, okay, they're both going on their way. They both have like this really like tearful goodbye, but that's just what happens, you know, like they have to go back. And then Dr. Grace is just like, he's going to die. There are things that he doesn't know that he won't be able to fix in time. And there's nothing really left for me on Earth anyway. So as long as I find a way to make sure that this information gets to him, then I'm going to go save my buddy, you know, and his civilization also. You know, I I really did like that that's where it ended up.
Yeah, I am too. I feel like all the range of emotions that Ryan Gosling had to go through.
Seriously.
I really, it's like from the start, you're like, okay, I'm not going to survive on this ship. Then there's hope. You're like, and then he starts crying. He's like, wow, I get to go back home, which is what I wanted all along. I didn't want to come here. And then in the end, he just doesn't go back to Earth. He goes to Rocky. I'm like, I don't know. I thought that was really great. We got to see all sides of Ryan Gosling's emotions.
Seriously. I was going to ask kind of like, how did y'all feel about his performance kind of like as a leading man? Because for a lot of the movie, he is by himself, you know, or he's interacting with, you know, a CG rock, you know, like I think he did a really phenomenal job, honestly.
It gave like Tom Hanks' Castaway, where it's like you like Rocky, we know is not real, like it's just a CGI thing, but like he made it real. We felt that connection between them.
I think it was very like down to earth, pun unintended.
No, I really enjoyed his acting. I don't think I ever, in my brain, I was like, yeah, he's for sure talking to a real alien right now.
Exactly,
I was like not questioning him talking to nothing, or like a grown man in a blue suit that needs to be edited later. I was like, he is acting really well, especially the ability to play off the humor so well. There's probably just like a man standing there reading the line back so you know when your cue is. Like, he played it so well. I was like, dang, like this is actually funny, or this is sad, or like you can feel his relief when he's like, I'm gonna go, and Rocky was like, but you said he didn't want to go back. Like you said you accepted, and he was like, I was lying. Like those emotions, like I feel like he could have said nothing and you would have seen it, which I think is awesome. Especially like you said, he was acting alone a lot of the time, just surrounded by cameras, taking in everything he's doing. But yeah, I really thought it was good.
Yeah, I think this movie really does have a good way of selling like that kind of isolation also, and also just like the effects and like the like I want to look into the production end of this movie really bad, because like all like the anti-gravity stuff and like the way he like maneuvers around the spaceship and like the way that like the camera will turn whenever it's like transitioning between scenes. I'm genuinely very curious how like what this movie looks like on the production end. But acting opposite of like someone reading a line or, you know, like maybe just like a little stand-in puppet for like height, you know, like I genuinely think Ryan Gosling did a great job. And I think like the humor of this movie, like I think it kind of like gave it a lot of like charm and a little bit more hope to it too, because it's like, yeah, this guy's just like a science teacher. He's probably told like a bunch of like, he's got like the graphic tees that have like the like science jokes on it.
Like his shirts.
Yeah, he's probably
so
been
cute.
like cracking these kinds of jokes to like his students for years at this point.
I really, really love that too. The fact that he was a science teacher. It's like so many teachers. I'm like, when you're growing up, like my science teachers, I was like, oh my God, you're so smart. Like you can save the world.
Yeah, I honestly, I really ended up liking this movie. I went into it because, again, like as we were saying earlier, I don't really go for space movies generally, but like I was going into it kind of expecting it to be like very like boring, very like, because I didn't know who directed it. I haven't seen a lot of Ryan Gosling, if I'm honest, but you know, just going into it expecting it to be like a kind of a snooze fest, like a man goes into space, is trying to find a cure, very serious. I was really pleasantly surprised by like how visually interesting, how funny the movie was, and like the soundtrack and the score too. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and they kept like such a good like energy, but it didn't feel like it was like, oh, we're just gonna play a bunch of like recent hits just to kind of like keep people invested. Like no, it felt very well put together, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think the humor also worked well because it didn't feel forced. It wasn't like they were trying to turn a science fiction movie into a comedy. It flowed very well, and it was like kind of like stale comedy. Like it wasn't like you respond A, B, C to get to the end of a joke. It was just simply their banter, and their banter was funny. I was like, that's smart, like just to make him give like short responses, and how he talked and how he responded. I enjoyed it a lot.
And I was pretty glad that they didn't like rely that heavily on like, oh, he's speaking in kind of like broken English basically because of like the way that it's being translated. I'm glad they didn't like lean into that very much as like, oh, that's the funny part is that his sentences are like all broken apart. Like they very deliberately were just like, no, he gets the hang of it, and like the computer's doing like a pretty good job translating. But like it did still have like those like little quirks of like, you know, like online translation basically, where like things are a little out of order. But no, they had really good banter, honestly. But yeah, I think I might start wrapping things up here. But out of 10, what did y'all think of Project Hail Mary?
I would say at least an 8.
Nice.
I would say a 10 out of 10. I
Really,
can't
yeah?
see. Yeah, I like space movies. I like I like space. I like science. And so going into it, I thought everything played out really, really great.
Yeah.
And now knowing like the book explains everything that I was missing in the movie, I'm like both of them together. It was I heard it was a really great adaptation of the book.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. I mean, we do have it available. Like I said earlier, we have it available as an ebook on cloudLibrary. So if you would like to read it alongside Ruby and get to know all of the science details, if with your BiblioTech library card, you can access cloudLibrary and our library for free. But for my rating, honestly, I would give it about an 8 out of 10 as well. Just like, again, I think upon rewatch, or maybe it being on like a smaller screen where it doesn't feel like, oh, like all the visuals are like surrounding me. Like I might take a little bit more of like a critical look at certain things. But like while I was in there, I was enchanted start to finish.
I feel like just this point in time too, like I feel like it's going to stay here. Like, I don't know, like fresh off the Artemis 2 mission too, like all the astronauts going to the moon right now. Like that was very emotionally investing for me. Watching all of that footage and watching the astronauts come back and having their overview effect and things like that. So like, I'm like going from that to this. I love all this space. Like love that it's getting right now. I feel like everyone's getting hyped. It's really influencing a lot of kids right now as well in schools that want to become astronauts, that are living right now in this, that I don't know. I feel like it's very fitting right now with what's going on.
I agree. Yeah. I think that just about wraps up our discussion of Project Hail Mary. Again, if you want to check out the book, it's on cloudLibrary as an ebook. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Louie.
I'm Ruby.
I'm Miranda.
Have a good day. I don't know if I said have a good day.